Corby, Northamptonshire. Since the closure of the steelworks in 1980, the population of Corby has declined. For those that remain, the poor employment prospects and the now half-empty housing estates are a fertile breeding ground for vandalism and despair. Kingswood School must simply cope with the consequences. But its resources are neither great nor growing. The education spending cuts, which at first could be restricted to an increasing but relatively unimportant decline in the fabric of the school, now begin to seep through the system. Although it has no fewer pupils, Kingswood must lose the equivalent of 4 full-time teachers over the next 2 years. To ease the pain, every department must make small economies, from the sixth form at one end to the remedial or individual learning department at the other. Every comprehensive school has its share of slow learners, those whose literacy and numeracy is below average. Most schools give them some special attention. For Frankie Braidwood, 12, this means that all his maths and English classes are spent in the individual learning department with the head of the department, Keith Smith.
A P falcon. Come on, we've done it.
A P falcon?
Peregrine falcon. Peregrine, you want there. A peregrine is a kind of falcon. Do you remember last week we saw all the different sorts of falcons, didn't we? We saw the peregrine falcon and we saw the kestrel. And that's the peregrine. It's a type. Okay.
Keith Smith is assisted by 1 part-time teacher and by the goodwill and unpaid work of other staff and sixth form pupils. But as the financial belt tightens, he'll be able to help fewer and fewer children.
What else do they've got to be bad to come in here these days. At one time, we used to take borderliners, as it were, and give them a boost. But we can't do that anymore. So we only take the bad ones now. Intellectually bad or, you know, some poor reading. It's very sad, because we used to have kids here who we'd perhaps keep for a year and really push hard, because perhaps they get the attention that you can't get in a normal class of 30. And they were coming out at the end of the 5th year with a grade 2 CSE, which was an impossibility when they first came in. And whether you agree with an examination system or not, you've got to be part of it. I hate it, you know. I hate to think of these kids in terms of an exam. But I've got to be fair to them. You know, they've got to compete outside.
Okay. Rachel Bell is 12. She's making good progress. Too good, perhaps. To make way for others, she must rejoin the mainstream of pupils next term.
Do you remember talking last week? And I was saying I'm going to throw you out, and you said you didn't want to go. Have you changed your mind yet?
No.
But what am I going to do next year, then? Because I think you ought to go, and I think you're going to stand a better chance. Much, much, much better chance if you go. Wouldn't you like to give it a try? You will. Oh, you are lovely. You saved me a lot of worry.
Not English, though, because I don't
Not
like that
English.
teacher.
Well, you don't know which teacher you're going to have.
Oh.
Do you? Hey? You've no idea which teacher you're going to have next year. Even I don't know that yet. You don't want which teacher?
Mr. Hewitt.
Oh, you worry about Mr. Hewitt. Everybody worries about Mr. Hewitt. He's lovely.
He's not.
But you would do far better to go into ordinary English classes. You'll get on ever so well. You know you will, don't you? It's an easy life down here, isn't it? Hey. So you're going to do that for me? You are good, aren't you? Hey? You're smashing. All right, then. So you'll go and do your maths with your maths group and your English with your English group. And you'll come back and see me in October and tell me how you're doing. Do you promise?
Yeah.
Good girl. OK, go on, then.
Rachel must now re-enter an environment that she still feels is hostile.
I'm quite small for my age and got short hair, and I think when I wear trousers I think I look like a boy. Well, I think I'm quite miserable. because hardly anybody likes me. Just got a few friends. I just think they hate me. Well, they do. They just say that I'm horrible. If I go and sit on a table where somebody is, they'll say, "Oh, get away, smelly belly," or something like that, because most of them don't like me. But every table I go on, there's somebody on a table that don't like me. So I just go on a table where nobody's there. Well, if I did have a magic wand and I'd wave it, and I could do anything I'd like to go to London for my life and live in there.
Rachel keeps her insecurities to herself. Others don't. Frankie Braidwood displays his and is therefore more of a problem to the department and to the school.
Frankie, go to my room. John Gemmell. Ian Cowley. Go down to my office, please. All right, Frank, come on. Now, where were you on Friday afternoon?
Yes, we went out into the woods.
You went out into the woods?
Yes, it was.
What for?
Mark and John says, John says during, do you want to miss last lesson? So I just said, yeah. Literally went out into the woods.
And you just went out to miss that last lesson?
Yes.
That's an hour you've missed. Have you done this before?
I miss.
Are you sure?
Yes. I've never done it ever in my life. Just this once.
Well, I shall make sure, Frankie, that you don't do it again this term, because I'm going to put you on report. All three of you, in fact. And you'll carry it round with you to every lesson and have it signed by every member of staff that teaches you.
Though no less able than Rachel, Frankie is unlikely to leave the individual learning department until he's less of a behaviour problem.
I just want to do what my friends do. Just don't like being left out. My friends go along and do that, do something. I'll do that. Hang around smashing windows, I'll do that. I just don't want to be left out.
My sister had a new baby last week.
I mean, from now on, I am going to change my attitude. I'm just going to be good. I'm not going to get into any more trouble. I just want to grow up and just be known. I don't want to grow up and just be known as a spiteful little terror, like most people call me. I just want to be good and kind. I mean, deep down, I am good and kind, but higher up, I'm just horrible.
I mean, with somebody like Frankie, I feel that if his reading matched up with his intelligence, as it were, then he probably wouldn't be half the behaviour problem that he is in the rest of the school. He'll always come up, I hope he will, he'll always come up happy and bouncing. It's a question of really, of keeping him on equilibrium so he doesn't get on the wrong side of the law. Because once he gets on the wrong side of the law, then I think we shall lose him.
What do I do now?
Keith Smith's assistant Lillian Matthey raises money each year by private donation to take underprivileged children away for a week's holiday. Not surprisingly, many of them are in the individual learning department, and both Frankie and Rachel will be on this year's trip.
It's an adventure centre run by the Youth Hostels Association. The part of the centre that we're going to is fairly new, and therefore it's modern. It's sort of carpeted throughout, and there are showers. There are staff at the centre that will look after the children. They'll cook their meals for them.
And he is looking forward to going. You know, I keep threatening him, if you don't behave, you're not going. But he'll go anyway, and he knows it. He knows he can get round me, no matter what he does.
They'll be able to go and do some canoeing. There's horse riding.
She's a bit excited and going, which is only natural. Never been away before. Only on day trips, that's all, but not for 4 or 5 days.
Rachel lives in the Corby Refuge, a hostel for battered wives. She shares a room with her mother, her sister and her 3 brothers.
Well, I came from Nottingham. I left my husband through, well, mental cruelty, not. He was being a bit cruel towards Rachel and this and that. And I've got 5 children, including Rachel. She's been a lot better off since she's been here. I mean, he was a bit cruel to her at times. He used to just grab hold of her leg, you know, and dig his fingers in and really bruise her. And I reported him to the social services and they came up. I don't know whether the police charged him with it or what, but I had a policewoman come to the refuge in Telford to question me and question Rachel, so whether they charged him again with it, I don't know. But I've never heard nothing from him since I came here. She's fine now since I've come here. You know, I've got no problems with her. She'll go to school. She's a regular school goer. She don't have much time off unless she has to go to dentist or anything like that.
And how are you feeling about a week without?
Well, we're a bit peaceful. She can be a bit noisy at times, you know. I think I miss her. It's only natural. She's never been away from me before. So, I think she'll be happy.
Frankie too once lived in the refuge, but his mother remarried and he and his sisters now live with their mother and stepfather on the Lincoln estate.
You better have a wash with me, Papa.
Okay.
Well, his dad used to hit me and knock me about. And then it's come to it that he was knocking the children about. More so Frank, because he was the boy.
In what way, badly?
Oh, very badly, yeah. And, I mean, Frank, he still bears the scars now of what his father's done. I mean, he was only 3 or 4 years old when he done that.
What was that?
The little girl, Patricia, the middle one, he told her to get Frank on the floor one day. He was laying down flat on the floor to sit on his shoulders like so he couldn't move. And dropped an iron on his head. Lucky enough, I just managed to catch the handle of the iron, but the point of the iron went into his forehead. He's had glasses thrown on him. I don't know what he hasn't had thrown on him. You know, and the scars are still there, and they'll always will be there. And he wakes up crying at night. And a couple of times I've found him actually sleepwalking. You know, and he's woke up screaming. And I said to him, "What's wrong?" "Daddy's coming to get me." I say, "No, you know, don't be silly." But for, you know, a kid at that age, I mean, I'm not going to forget what he done to me. And I'm sure those kids are not going to forget. Well, I'm glad he is going on it. Well, for the fact is, if he wasn't going on it, he wouldn't be going away anyway, you know, because we couldn't afford to take him. Plus the fact, you know, with him being away, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to get rid of him, but it gives me time to adjust, you know, back to myself again, just for a couple of days anyway. You know, I'm not worrying where Frank is, what he's doing.
Just think what we'll be doing right now. Yeah, think about it. Think about it.
This year's trip to Wales is entirely funded by charity. Lillian Matthew has had to hire the school minibus, but has persuaded the Corby Scouts to lend theirs.
Just look at the waterfall.
There you are, you'll see it go right out to sea. As far as the eye can see. Now, how about that?
That's good enough. Smashing.
Isn't it?
You need a speedboat. Go on.
And who's not seen the sea before?
Me.
You haven't seen the sea before, Frankie. Now, let me tell you, Frankie, that is the actual sea.
Try Rachel to a tent and then let us just float.
Oh, we'll be sitting on the sweet.
Oh, Did you know there was so much water?
No.
No?
No, that's enough food.
Oh, yeah? You can have a wash in that as well, yes. Now, we're here now, and this place, yes, is Llanbedra. To the round. Here we are. Here we are. That's it. Whee.
Hey! Thanks first now. What good job there. I'll get out first. There it is down there.
Is that it, Frankie?
I think so. It's cracking this. There's the sea.
Oh!
Are we here?
Yes, yes, this is it.
Somewhere, anyway.
I knew I was right.
You were, definitely, definitely.
Girls, if you go in the room just there.
That's right, in you go, yes.
Get yourself a bunk in there. All the boys this way.
Oh, there you are. The ladies is there, look. You've been down for the ladies.
I want to go now.
Well, it's just across there. Look.
Rachel,
Don't go big. Don't.
no, I've got to get my coat out. I've got it.
Then we know where they are. That's good. Yours on there. Is that
Where's
right?
mine, sir? Underneath here.
Or on there?
Mind your head. Mind your
Underneath
foot.
there, yes.
Get down there. Here I come. Scum. Oh, yeah.
Right, thanks very much.
Stovey. What do you think?
Get the edges and pin it up like that. Welsh.
I don't. Not me. Can I just do some Sit. I'm all set for the winter. What's happening going down here?
We regard it as part of the individual learning department's function in the school that if we can, we will take some of the children away each year. And we try to choose the ones that we think might benefit the most. Really what we're trying to do is say, well, look, we think the 5 days away from Corby, away from home perhaps, away from the school environment, to see us in a different light might be of value to them, and it might carry over into the work that they're doing at school.
Oh, look, I picked that up. Look, it touched it.
The red gunge? I don't know what it is. Let's go have a look. Ah! Whereabouts?
I don't remember where it is.
You're braver than I am, girl.
Look on the green.
The green?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
That green? Well, it'd be in, I don't know, it's a seaweed of some sort.
Wait, no, that, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a jellyfish.
Rachel, look. Look how they run sideways. Look. It's a woof. How they run sideways.
Boy, yeah.
Come on, give me your hand. Come on. Look. Oops. You're right. Girl.
Do you want it?
Is a red anemone? No. See there?
You need to be touching your clothes
Look
up.
at all his little legs on him, see? Hey, look.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Good improvement there.
Yeah, it's no use saying, please, may I, if. The answer's no, whatever you say. I've given you instructions. That's what you've got to do now. All right?
I'm brushing my teeth first.
You're brushing your teeth first. Good. Well, there's 2 sinks there and a toilet.
Hi, Dave. Yeah. We've all got to get to bed yet. No, but I've been in bed, so I'm not going to bed. Mr. Smith. Jenny's not in bed.
Jenny?
Yeah.
Where's Jenny gone?
Laura's. Where are they?
I don't know.
No, but they're not in here.
Any more? Well, count them for me. 1, 2, let me...
1.
1. Oh, there's 1, 2.
Jenny and thinking that and...
Well, there must be. Here's you. Here's you.
I'm not going to bed.
Oh, we're all going to bed now.
I've got to bed.
Come on, at you. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, right, go.
Right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Good night.
Look, you can't go into bed with your jeans on.
No.
Come on, get out.
It'll see me back as times in the morning.
Now, I'll allow you extra time if you've got pyjamas.
Yeah.
Right. And now, look here, any misbehaviour, and I shall come down to kiss you all good night.
Oh, my God. Miss, I'm begging, Miss. I'm begging.
Good lad, Frankie.
I'm not wearing now, I'm giving them good.
I'm going to give you 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Then do some pyjamas.
Well, haven't cleaned it.
Quick, do some
Pyjamas and toothbrushes that fit into pots and all sorts. Fantastic.
I know, skills.
Look, you open your quilt out. Your quilt has been folded in half, and you open it out. No, come on.
Oh, you're laying it on.
You lay underneath it, not in it.
What time do you want waking up?
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 6 o'clock. So
I tell you what, if anybody wakes me up too early, we're going to run.
8:30.
A run up and over the hills. Oh, you're going up that. There's no need to tread all over him. Well, there is.
No one's there.
No pillow fights. You heard what Andy said.
Right, you lucky. No, please. No, don't leave. It's a penny.
If at the back of the mind you think, I've got to go back to school, or I've got to sit down every night and write about this and write about that, I mean, it's going to turn them off. I mean, you know what it's like. I mean, they drove along the motorway and said, look, we're in Wales. And what did it say? Walsall. Now, what's the point in trying to get those kids to write about it tonight? Let them feel it, let them enjoy it, let them experience it. I mean, we look for the minimum in success with these kids. I mean, you're only going to get a little bit, but if it's just a tiny bit, it's something to build on. If one child has never been to the sea before and has been this once, and he doesn't go again in the next 5 years while he's at school or until he gets married, he'll perhaps remember when he's got his own children, I went to the seaside with Kingswood. I must take my children because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
He will remember.
Now, if that's happened, then that's enough. You know, and on the beach tonight, I mean, that's worth the whole journey and the whole week, because every child was fascinated with what he could see, either jumping over the rocks, falling in the water, getting thoroughly wet, feeling how cold it was, playing with the spray, looking at the shells. All this absolutely fascinated them. And even if they go with the parents, they find these things and they've got nobody to talk to them about. I'm not saying all the parents, but some of the parents, they'll wander off, the kids will wander off and say, what's this? But they've got somebody to relate to. One of us was available to say, great, you found that. I think it's this.
Yes. I can't move my uncle. I said I am. Well, I don't minute. I'm pretty good at all this. Can I go on that one, please?
In a minute.
Rachel.
Now, who are the other children? Yes, you'll have to be... Oh, fancy coming in shoes like that. Wait a minute.
Sam?
No, it's a little one.
I love Sam. Sam little.
You... Go on, then. If you've got your heart set on Sam, you go and have that little black and white pony, but you don't get on until I ask you to get on.
hang on, say he's got your one.
You can go on, Queenie, the little dun pony.
Oh, yes. You sit on that ride. Are you riding? Are you riding? Yes. You want to swap?
Nah.
Andrew, have you got any film you haven't got a pony?
Did you all take hold of your own? Right, pull yourself on. Up. That's a good girl. There you go. Now let your leg dangle free. Let it dangle. Does that feel comfy?
Yes.
Let that one out the stirrup. Let it dangle free. Okay?
Shall I get on?
Yeah, put your left leg in the stirrup and your right leg over the saddle. That's it. Now sit there with your legs down straight. And just raise you up here. There you are. Put your foot in there. Just the front of your foot in, all right?
Okay.
You've been on before, haven't you?
Yeah, just once. I'm all scared then.
Oh, well.
As long as I don't bend the head all the way down, I'm not scared of it usually.
This is Queenie.
Queenie?
Mm-hmm. Right, now. All right, we're off now. Come on, little boy. There's a good boy. Up and over. There's it. Yeah. No. Push your legs on. Push your legs on the tree, Frankie. All right? Okay.
It was the garden of the chapel salon. Was the setting for a costume.
Let's have a
What's that one say?
reproductions.
Reproductions of the hang in many a Welsh home. No! No, hurry up! That makes a noise! Rachel, it's you! Rachel! The breeding cows are rearing already. Early spring. Born calves which will be sold in the autumn with land
Capable
them for beef.
Yes. Well, it does say there
Beef
that
and onion.
they should be black cattle because the black cattle they produce, they have them around here because they're very hardy. And you can imagine in the winter it's very rough conditions here. They're very hardy and they produce a lot of milk and they produce a lot of beef. Let's keep our eyes open, see if we see some Welsh black cattle. Now don't drop any paper. If there's any paper here, we know it's you that's dropped
Before you
it.
ask,
What? Thank you.
just in case you ask.
Someone's been sick.
No.
Ronald, leave the girls alone.
Who?
What?
Jenny. All right, don't tell us who. Once who?
Oh, I can hear her crying. I can hear her crying, Leslie. Oh, gosh, what's the matter?
I'm sick.
You feel sick?
So bad.
Would you think it'd be better if you went back to the centre? Hey? Come on. Come on. If we turn back, eh? Yes?
Don't want to go.
What would you like to do, eh? Once we got back to the ranch, Make you a nice cup of tea. Then you'll feel better, eh? Eh?
I want my dad and my mum.
Come on. You'll feel like that at the minute. You'll feel like that, you know. You're not the only one. You're all right. Come on. Go down, Keith. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Come on. All right. It's all right. It's all right.
Dear Mum, I have missed you very much. I hope you are okay and I am having a nice time here. I am all right. I love you very much. Love from Jenny. Dear Mum and George and family, I am having a nice time here. I have got £8.26 left. I have been on horses. Love, Rachel Bell. Dear Mum and Dad and kids, I am having a smashing time in Wales. I went horse riding today. The beach is smashing, so is the dinner. P.S. See you on Friday. Lots of love, Frankie.
You mustn't bathe when the tide's going out. Let's go! Whoopee! It's freezing!
Oh, God. Oh.
Wait a minute, I'm on Christmas. Oh my God! Come on, I'm going over. I'm going. I've got to have video.
Gotcha!
What the hell am I doing this for? I must be mad, you know. There must be easy ways of earning a living. But I think overall, at the end of a year, I wouldn't change my job for any other one in the school. I could never see the point in being in school and not actually working with kids. And when it comes to working with kids, then, you know, you should be doing it the whole of the time.
I just love going off on my own. When I'm in a great big massive open space like the sea, I just tend to just walk away off my own. Sometimes I think about nothing, sometimes I tend to think about my first dad, sometimes. Most of the time I just don't think of anything. To be honest, I don't like men. I think they're rotten. I don't like them because I remember my brother's dad. He was violent and he was nasty. He was just horrible to us. But some men I see are nice.
De gymland daar, zie je ook in daar? Zo zie je ook in daar, hoor.
Yes. That's better.
Okay.
I'm walking because I can't stand the dark.
Will you be needing a helmet? Do you want one? Goes on.
Imagine yourself as soldiers now, and you're on guard duty. And you've got to patrol all the way around there and keep an eye open for the attacking natives. You've got to decide which way you think they'll come. Yes, it'd be a good idea. They could look
Because
down.
if they came down, they could just shoot down.
They shoot down.
They'll
Yes,
come
sir.
by British Rail.
They come by British Rail. Yeah. Unfortunately, the trains are always late, Frankie.
Someone's dropped a key ring. What'd you say? Please. I'll get you when you get back up there. No. Hiya. Chilly.
I should have a rest or something tonight. Or sleep tonight, I bet. And just warm to a frazzle. Do you think you'll make the barbecue?
I don't know.
You don't know? You just had enough? Hey? It's spending all that money. That's what does it, you know. It's hard work spending money all day, isn't it? Did you spend everything you got this morning?
Yeah, on presents.
On present? Oh, yes, you showed me some of them, didn't you? You had the red purse.
My
Red-
sister.
That's for your sister. That's right. Did you take all your wet clothes off? Are you wet? Do you think you got a cold?
Yeah, I've got a cold.
You got a cold, you think, do you? Did you get all your wet clothes off when you got in?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Hot dog. Hot dog.
Mrs. Matthew said anything to you? Well then, now just walk sensibly.
Where are we going, sir?
At your age. You're going over there, if you could make your way there.
The last night, and a party shared with other children visiting the area, including some from a school for the mentally handicapped.
My auntie, she went to market and she bought a left-handed gramophone that went like that. Would you like to tell, Rachel?
My granny went to market and my granny went to market and put left-handed microphone what goes like that. My aunt went to market and bought a left-handed gramophone that goes like that.
Well, left-handed. My grandmother went to market and bought a gramophone record that went like this. That's right. Okay. She went to market and bought a left-handed gramophone that went like that, a right-handed fan that went like that, and a fixed-wheel bicycle that went like that.
My granny went to market and brought a left-handed gramophone that goes like this, a right-handed fan what goes like this, and a bicycle.
Fixed-wheel bicycle.
A fixed-wheel bicycle that goes like this.
That's right. Went to market and bought a left-handed gramophone that went like that, a right-handed fan that went like that, fixed-wheel bicycle that went like that, a nodding doll that went like that, a clock that went cuckoo, and a hula-hula girl.
My grandma went to town, bought a left-handed gramophone, a fan what goes like this, a two-wheel fixed bike, and a nodding doll what goes like this, a car what goes cuckoo, and a what else? My aunt went to market and bought a left-hand gramophone that goes like this, a right-hand fan that goes like this, a two-wheeled bicycle, a doll's head, a clock that goes cuckoo, and a hula-hoo.
My granny went to the market, she bought a left-handed gramophone record player, a fan that goes like this, a nodding doll.
It's good It is.
Died of exhaustion.
Frankie's very difficult. I'm very frightened for Frankie. I think I'm quite certain he's enjoyed himself this week. At times he's been a nuisance, but then he always is a nuisance in that he can't conform to behaviour.
We have a free-course meal market.
He's always got to be attention-seeking, which he's maintained all this week.
Yeah.
But there have been certain points in the week when you felt, oh, Frankie, that's great.
His experience of the sea, I think that to me was worth everything for Frankie. Him seeing the sea and realising the vastness of the sea. And if you notice when we took him on the beach, he just literally galloped. The gallopy movement and the wonder and the expression of it, charging up and down. I think that's the only way he could express what he'd seen.
I mean, really, we could do with another week for Frankie to do something about certain areas of his behaviour. I mean, Rachel was very pushy in all respects.
That's right.
She's a hefty girl. Although she's only small, she's a hefty girl, and she uses her weight physically. She's a survivor.
Yes.
She automatically takes charge, and she will find the weaker child, and she will dominate. I mean, she's a very dominant character, and she'll find it easy to dominate people. Although she isn't, sort of highly intelligent, she's still eloquent in her terms, within her peer group. She's very eloquent, and she can very easily be a leader, and not a good leader.
I can play fetch with the wind.
Rachel, I'll have you out as well while you're right. Don't take questions. Just stop my feet. Come on.
At home, the situation is that they're all living in one room, and we've alleviated the situation there for just a few days, that there's a little more peace and quiet. I imagine Rachel's voice must grate at times at home, because it certainly grates at times here, because she's a very demanding girl, and she wants immediate attention. And we've made sure she hasn't got immediate attention. If we're talking to somebody else, then she's had to wait.
It's the same with Frankie. I feel very sure that his mother and father will have benefited very much from Frankie being away from them for a week. I mean, he is a great problem between the two of them. He's a friction between the stepfather and his mother. And he is a source of worry and a source of problem. And that has been taken away from them for a week.
We're not sure whether we've achieved anything or not. We would hope that we have, inasmuch that when we go back to school, we shall follow up the work that we've done here, although we've done no written work, which would put a immediate stop on the holiday. And I'm sure somewhere along the line we've achieved a little bit for each child. I'm permanently frustrated. I hate it most when I know there are kids leaving the school who don't stand a hope in hell, because there are so many children that we give only very limited help to. All of us in the department are prepared for failure. It's the odd success that keeps us going. But then it's where do you draw the line? How many hours a day do you put in? How far do you chase the child? If my resources were unlimited, how much more could I do for these children? I mean, we argue at county level, but it just can't make any difference until people see the sense of it.